April 9th, 2025, 6 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Boxtos? Here. Mr. Cole? Here. Mr. Lohr? Here. At this time, I'd like to ask for public comment, agenda items only. Anybody just a paper list or not?
Recess to the.
Okay, recess. At this time, we'd like to recess a meeting to the public hearing on agriculture security area.
You have the recommendation. Here's the resolution prepared. These are the properties that are recommended by the planning commission to be included in the agriculture. You have a resolution there.
Those are the
Albert Connor, Brothers Farm LLC,
Kearns' brother.
and Thomas Leisure. We added that's the recommendation from. Oh, you're an agriculture advisor here also. This is where you recommend also?
Yeah.
And recommended by the planning commission tonight. This the audience, if there's any comment on the proposed additions to the. Anybody have any comment on it?
Any comment on the recommendations from the Planning Commission and the Agriculture Security Area Advisory Committee? Paul.
Mark, I have one comment. I'd like to thank you for going ahead and doing this with the agricultural. With the review, with me sitting on the board, we found out that the last two reviews never done correctly, never filed. We had 14 years there that the farmers in the township weren't covered. And that's nothing against you fellas. That was before your time. But I also like to thank Lindsay for the work that she really put into this to get this accomplished.
Thank you. Thanks. Any public comment?
You can close the public hearing.
Okay, let's close the public hearing at this time and resume our regular meeting. I'd like a motion for the resolution 4-2025 agriculture security area additions.
I'll make the motion on the resolution of 4-2025 agriculture security area additions.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. I would like a motion for the minutes of the March 12th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Yes.
Yes.
I would like a motion for approval of checks, warrants, and transfers as listed and any other necessary transfers.
I'll make a motion to approve checks, warrants, and transfer as listed and any other necessary transfers.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Old business, A, open and award fuel bids. We haven't got any fuel bids in at this time, so that's the second time through. So I think at this time we're going to secure a bond from Augustine and go with Augustine's fuel, or local fuel company.
Mark, can you explain why you can't get a fuel bid?
It was advertised twice.
I understand. It's advertised where?
The price fluctuates, Bill, and the fuel companies don't want to lock into a price that they have to give us. Is the problem.
We've talked to other townships and they have no problem with bids. I mean, it's amazing how many they get. And, I mean, I just don't understand, that's why I said.
I'm just telling you, the last people we had, they come from West Virginia. And that's the reason that Augustine didn't want to do it, because he doesn't want locked into the price. He has to make money on what the price of the fuel is at that time.
I understand it, but what they're doing, the way they told me, what they do, what that price is that day, that's what you pay. You agree to that. You know, we understand that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. It's just amazing that we don't get any bids, where these other guys are getting lots of bids, you know?
We need to change, that's what we need to do, change the criteria if you're not getting bids. There's standards for fuel delivered in this region. You can go to that standard with a margin above that to counter the fluctuations, because obviously only having one bidder is not going to get you the best price. So you need to change the criteria in your bid request.
Can I get those, fuel companies off you, Mr. Voltrout, from the other townships? Can you get them for me? And I can call them?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's no problem.
All right. Get them. I'll call them.
I know the spray is one, right, like that
Well,
spray.
I mean,
That's the way they deal with theirs, it fluctuates. That's how they get it, you know?
I mean, if they wanted our business, you'd think that they
That's
would.
what I said, I couldn't believe it, I said, we think it'd be pretty good work on it.
It's the nature of the bid, the fixed price. It's a low margin business. Jacobs in Waynesburg does a lot of regional work as well. But yeah, you need to change the criteria to get multiple bids. So if you go to a standard with a margin over that, then you'd be able to get more bids and get more competitive prices.
Okay, thank you. Number 5, like a motion to, this is new business, to amend the employee policy manual to include compulsory time maxed at 240 hours, and that vacation time must be used in that calendar year.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Number 6, reports. Supervisors,
I have none.
secretary.
Liquid fuels deposit was made on February 5th in the amount of $249,365.93. Also, the road turnback deposit was made on February 10th. These were both deposited directly to the liquid fuels account and are included in the treasurer's report. The treasurer's report is on the wall. General fund, $754,162.49. Liquid fuels, $558,306. Local share, $152,946. Rice, Lincoln, $210,922. The Cleveland Cemetery, $22,831. Act 13 fund, $7 million is still in the water and sewage project, and $469,599 of the Act 13 is in the park project.
Thank you, Julie.
Lindsay and I are training, so we have one more day.
Road department.
We've been changing a few cross pipes that are very bad. The guy's been going around with the broom, getting all the cinders off the intersections and off the sides of the roads. We'll continue doing that probably the rest of this week and a little bit of next week. We've been trimming trees on some of the roads that are having some problems with some branches, some dead stuff that's falling, hitting cars and stuff. We have a guy still mowing up high. The roads that we didn't get last summer will be complete in a week. That's all I have.
Okay. Public comment, non-agenda items. Paul Myers.
Paul Myers at 205 Plymouth Road. I have a couple things. How are we making out with the audit? Are we going to have it done by April like we're supposed to?
I got confirmation today that it will be done in a week or two, and we will have everything for the May meeting.
Okay. The other thing is in our auditors meeting, we've requested that the auditors certify the comp time. Is that being done?
We amended, well, we didn't really amend it. We changed our time sheets to,
Everything's on one sheet.
everything's on one sheet now.
Good, good.
So I can give you a copy of that later, show you.
Yeah, but what we asked for is to show when it was applied for and when it was taken by the auditors to certify that, was what our motion was.
Okay, we haven't done anything with that yet, Paul.
Okay.
That's something we will work on.
The last thing is, the Board of Auditors recommended a $500,000 bond. Do we have that secured in place yet?
That is not secure yet, but talking to Mr. Liker just before the meeting, that could be done within a couple days.
Yeah, there's a $100,000 bond is still, I talked to somebody yesterday. He emailed this afternoon, I need an answer. He emailed this afternoon and said, we could still have the bond for the secretary.
Okay, and then the auditors will get a copy of that once it's, okay. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Dave Wiltrop?
Dave Wiltrop, 34 Hud Summit Road. Getting onto the surety one that was supposed to be in January's meeting, have it in 3 days, and they asked for $500,000. We haven't, you don't have that yet. Well, I think if you do your homework, you'll find out we're in violation big time. Do you know where I'm going with this? All right, well, she cannot do payroll. She cannot handle anything financially. She has to be bond, has to have that amount of bond. And I mean, I think you know that, so we've been talking about this for quite some time. And they're in violation big time. And so is everybody else here because they're listening to what we're trying to tell them. It's not hard to find out. You could go call a surety bond company and you could get a bond today. And I mean, you could go online and it's pretty cut and dried how that is.
I don't do that.
What's that?
I don't do that.
I understand, but if you are these guys' overseer, you're like supposed to tell these guys, you know, you're in the wrong. Somebody's got to do it.
I'll be the broker about
Well, I mean, they're in big violation here. So, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, and then, all right, it just moves me. But all right, getting back to these turn back roads. All right, you took 2 roads back, Wary and Donley.
No, it's been turned back for years.
For years?
Years.
They're back for years.
Years.
Well, that wasn't my understanding. I thought this was new. Something new.
Years.
Huh?
Years. You better have your meeting with Mr.
Well, no, I'm just asking. It wasn't him that brought this
to
to my attention. It was other people.
Get this.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
It's been years.
All right. Well, that's what I'm asking. So that's good. That's good on one part of that.
They were originally state roads,
Right. Yeah.
and they turned it back to the state, and they're still turning back roads because the state.
Yeah. So the township is responsible for them now.
That we get paid.
Winter
Yeah.
maintenance. That's it.
What's that?
Just winter maintenance. No pothole patching. No cleaning or anything.
All right. Well, that's good to know. I mean, that is good to know.
Oh, the
At least we got-
turnbacks we do. I'm talking like Vansville. We get a kickback for winter maintenance. Vansville.
Yeah.
The state. Donley, we do the maintenance.
You do the maintenance of Donley
Donley.
and Wary.
Yes.
So we're responsible for all that. So
Yes.
whoever the last people was that took that roads back, they should never. They didn't see it. You know what I mean? Why would we want to take that when it was the state road to start with, and we wouldn't have to pay? It wouldn't even be any of our concern, really.
We get paid every year.
I understand, but
It's a
no,
windfall for the town.
yeah, but that's why I realize that now. But you know what I mean? But the way I understood it, we just recently took these back
No.
and something like that. No, that's good.
No.
All right, that's no problem. And then like the budgets. Okay, last year or 23, it was $1,149,000, and then we went over that like almost $1 million for the budget. And then this year we're $5,400,000. So I mean, what
What do you mean we're at $5 million?
$5 million.
for the budget?
No, we're at 1.9.
Huh?
1.9.
1.9.
With your water projects and all that.
That,
Budget is the total spend, capital and.
that has nothing to do with, that's money that's in an account to be, it's in a, making money.
Making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So, well, I mean, I'm just trying to, here, talking about money. Who come up with I have nothing against the constables, okay, but we're the only township that really has them come. Nobody else has it. Well, who come up with the idea to pay them $300 for each meeting?
That's what he charges.
That's what he charges?
Yeah.
That's,
Many, many years ago, Mr. Wiltrot, I came to the meetings. When Mr. Myers was here, Mr. Myers, you can say yes or no, there was a constable always here.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
There was a constable always here.
No.
At your meetings, there wasn't.
On special meetings, yes.
Other meetings, there was.
but I mean, the $300, that's, I mean, it is how many miles away. I mean, you would think, say if you had a 3-hour minimum, that would be, I mean, we've talked to constables and they can't believe it. It'd be like say a $90 figure, but I mean, it's just like you're just throwing money away. $300, these guys would be fighting over this to come here for, 15 minutes or an hour or so. I mean, that's just,
Mr. Lambert wants to say something.
yeah, go ahead.
Now, that, just for clarification,
Yeah.
there are multiple municipalities that have constables out there. Multiple.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you to, with all due respect, for you to stand there and say this is the only municipality that has them, that's not an accurate statement. There's quite a few municipalities that have constables at their meetings every month.
All right.
That is the discretion of the board. Number two, the dollar amount is not just for today. That is for anything that the board would need, my services for the entire month.
For the whole month.
If they need me to attend another meeting, that's it.
All right.
That's the purpose.
So, I mean, you were elected for this, right?
I'm elected at Cokeford Borough.
Cokeford
That's where
Borough.
I reside. So I have the ability to do anything across the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I understand that. But I mean, so you work for the township or whatever.
I don't work for the township.
You don't work for the
borough.
township
I am an independent contractor.
Okay.
Just to set the record straight.
Okay. Well, we're getting somewhere now. So, all right. And one thing that I did look, I mean, it's like, you look at the money situation and stuff, but Lindsay, this is for you. The mileage that you put on last year, what do you do to get all that mileage?
I've been in meetings, training on my job because nobody taught me how to do a thing here. There was all kinds of stuff like that.
All right, because we're just, trying to figure out, it's like you run 1,570 miles, that's, it's a lot of mileage to run. Try to figure it out, we're just, be good for public knowledge to know this, you know what I mean?
Lindsay, stop, Lindsay. Direct your questions to the board, no answer.
Oh. Okay, I just wanted to know, so it's good public knowledge, to know that, so.
Bring it to the board.
All right, well, I appreciate you stepping up, at least you know something now, so. All right, so, if she's doing all kind of training and stuff like that, I guess, would her mileage start from the home, or does it start from here to go there, or from the house and back? No.
Okay, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's pretty good. Let me ask you this about our, the road bonds that we've had for the, just to ask, for the township, for like all the shell drillers, and I imagine Carlton Drive with all the truck traffic on there, that road's all bonded and everything like that?
Yes.
Did he, because I'm going around talking to other townships and that, and I'll just give you, for example, like Amwell, they said that, their roads are 50% is bonded, and the, EQT, they pay them like $500,000 to $600,000, throughout the year, the road work that they do. I didn't know if we accrue any of that from the other people, Do we pay everything ourselves? Do we ever, collect any monies off of, anybody on the trucking companies on Carlton, or?
So obviously, when all the well stuff come through, 10 Mile, they contracted 10 Mile paved all these roads that the
Right.
wells are on. and they're all bonded on all the roads that they have to get to the well pads
Right.
to take the wastewater away and whatever else they might have to do on there. And if any of those roads are bad, we contact them
Yeah.
and, basically tell,
Like the other guy said, they take care of it themselves. We were just wondering, like, the Carlton Drive, does anybody, do the township pay for that, or do we hit any of them trucking companies up or anything like that?
I mean,
Because it wouldn't hurt to ask, because I'll tell you what, these guys told us, they asked, and they'll pay. Now, I mean, I don't know about, like, the trucking companies on Carlton, you know what I mean? That'd be like a little different than your,
Probably 75%
EQT,
of
yeah.
Amwell roads are bonded.
Yeah.
We don't have that much here.
yeah. Yeah, so.
Because they have a big drilling.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Their money, revenue coming in from the drilling is pretty substantial. compared to
yeah.
everybody else.
Mr. Wiltshire, I'll give you an example. On Buckingham Road, we had a pipe that collapsed. EQT changed the pipe. They did everything.
Right.
Contractor come, didn't cost us anything.
Mm-hmm.
Works right. Anytime you call them, our experience with EQT and range,
they're more than will.
anytime you have any issue, they'll come and do it.
That's what everybody said. They said they're good to deal with, because they'll take care of it themselves, won't even tell some of them guys, just, they'll get 10-mile paving and take care of it and stuff. All right, thank you.
Mr. Davis.
My name is Stephen Davis. I live at 189 Lively Road. I have a question about water. I've been talking to residents, and we get a lot of issues about water. I know we have $2.7 million in the budget. Do we have plans to spend that?
Not presently. We're trying to work on some water deals, and
Okay.
we're presently working on a sewage deal,
Okay.
but nothing has come, it keeps running into dead ends right
Okay.
now. So we're trying, but it, you think you have something in place and just it disappears quick. So until I have anything, we're working on different things. And when I have something concrete, I'll bring it to the public.
Okay, because I've gotten issues, and I think maybe you're aware of it. A lot of people have summer issues when the water dries up in the well.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a significant problem on Hickson and Bridge.
Yes.
I think you know about the mine
Yes.
residue that's going into their water, and it's been there for many years, I assume.
Yes.
The water table goes a long way. They put in, Tri-County, I guess, has put in water lines up through Hickson.
Yeah, they did that a few years ago.
And
It's
now
about
they,
halfway up Hickson.
and there's somebody up on Ridge is now going to get a line extended. At least that's what I've been told.
It's maybe.
Maybe, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mine's not real clear on it yet. It's still
Okay.
in litigation. And, we were trying to do something because our whole purpose, we want to try to get a water fill station down on Lovett Lane.
Okay.
That's been our whole thing, to try to get just not, like one road water. We want to get all the people who need it, because there's multiple farmers going miles and miles to get water every day. And we're trying to get something in our township.
Okay.
I've even approached the mine down here about maybe a little piece of property, trying to put a fill station right down here, but haven't got any answers
Okay.
yet.
Because I talked to somebody down the edge, at the very end of Ridge Road, and they said they've had well water contaminated for many years. They moved in there, 10 years ago, and they never could use the well. And theirs have been contaminated with mine waste. And so they just get it called in. I guess they should be able to get something from the mining company.
The problem is they're saying one thing and the mine's saying a different. The mine's not claiming responsibility. They claimed responsibility on the houses before coming halfway up Hickson,
Okay.
and they gave them water. They took it halfway up, but they're claiming with some of these people that have claims in now that it's from somebody before them, and they're not responsible. And it's just it's litigation right now.
Okay, because this person said that they hope to get water in there if the line goes up that way. But I'm thinking maybe the the mining company should be paying for those instead of us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the one lady that's definitely pretty far in litigation, it's like another 6,500 feet up Hickson and down Ridge to her
Yeah.
place.
Mhm.
Our idea was we were going to try to do something with the mine where it would be a win-win for the mine and us. But we're still not having a lot of luck with that yet. We're hoping to go all the way to Lovett Lane down there where we want to put that fuel station, but we're trying. It's just, you run into so many different roadblocks.
Okay. I did look at the map, and I read some stuff about that. Waste could go into the water table up to a mile away from that pond 6.
Yeah.
And I looked at the map, and I see that Shortcut Road and School Road are also within that range. So they probably would have contaminated water too if it's spread that far. And I think over 50 years it probably has. So I think we should be testing all the water that people have problems with the wells, and try to see where the contamination goes. So we're thinking we're going to do a survey. I'm going to go do a survey of the people around that area and see who has problems with wells and try to see if we can test the water. I don't know if you have any idea of what we could do or any other resources to use.
It was in the hands of DEP right now at the present.
Okay.
And the way I understand DEP ruled in the plaintiffs, the lady that lost her water and contaminated, ruled for them, but it's still, I don't know if it's being contested or, they just won't give us any answers at this point. We keep, I'm talking to somebody every week on it,
Okay.
trying to do something, because everybody on that road, and they're not the only road in the township. There's a lot of people who want water, but this just happens to be something that's happening right now. But a lot of those people on that road want water bad.
Sure, and I understand, but when you run out of water because a well just doesn't producing as much is a difference than having a well that the whole ground table is contaminated. When that happens, there's no well that's going to solve that issue. So we'll do a survey and try to figure out who has complaints, and we can get back to you on that. But thanks for your time.
Thank you. Bill Pollock.
Okay, thanks. Bill Pollock, 27 Pollock Road. I'd like to follow up on Steve's comments that looking at the water situation, and we recognize we have people in a lot of different situations, but it's apparent there are 3 or 4 houses that many years ago, they agreed the water was contaminated to the point where the mine put the water in, and they're paying for the monthly water bills. And this mine site, Mine 84, is 600 acres. There's probably close to 100 million tons of coal waste there, with about 30% of that coal waste is fines that has an extremely large amount of arsenic, selenium, mercury, and other heavy metals that are extremely toxic in the water. For example, arsenic has a maximum limit of 10 parts per billion to allow it to be an acceptable water. We think there's a high probability that the groundwater that was already contaminated, and I believe there's 3 or 4 documented houses that go back many years, and there's one on Ridge Road that they're just completing at the current time. The mine is responsible for that water. And in the township, if you take a mile radius around that site, and if you look at the other coal refuse sites, we know of at least 3 other coal refuse sites, Ellsworth, Cokeburg, and Ginger Hill. And if you look at the radius around that 1 mile, it involves an awful lot of people. And if, in fact, this is contaminated with heavy metals, of which are in huge quantities, this material was sluiced into the valleys from the cleaning plant. So in a water-saturated situation, there's millions of tons. It's not in-lined dams, they're all online. So after, and I think mine 60 alone goes back 70 years. Ellsworth, which is behind the middle school, goes back even further. But we think that we know there's already contamination. We haven't been able to find any test data that shows the minerals, the arsenic, selenium, mercury levels in the test. And we think it's very prudent that we look at these probable sites initially right at the edge, determine if there is additional contamination, because this is highly toxic in the drinking water. And if there is contamination, then the mine is responsible for this. And so by understanding where we're at with contamination, looking at the residents' needs and desires for water, that instead of our having to pay for water into these other areas, which also in talking with other townships is not something they're doing. They're supporting water, but they're not paying for the water with taxpayer money. So what we want to do is to do a survey in these areas to establish the right criteria for measuring the contaminants in the water and quickly determine if, in fact, there are additional contaminated wells, and use all this information to develop a comprehensive water plan that has those that have caused damage and contamination to pay, and then look at that with the residents' needs and come up with a comprehensive water plan that's good for everyone. Make sure no one has contaminated wells, make sure that the township is responding, those that have caused the damage are paying, and that everyone gets what they want. So that, I'd like to throw that out. And as I say, on a volunteer effort, we are looking to do quickly a survey and get this information. We're also establishing what a realistic test on the well water would be, considering the things that we're looking at, and looking at independent labs that are not tied in with the coal companies, so that when their test results are done, we can be 100% certain that those tests are accurate.
Are the residents paying for all these tests, or do you want the township to pay for it?
There's various sources, Joe, that can pay for this.
How come nothing was done 30 years ago?
I can't answer that, Joe. All we're interested in is we want to make sure that we don't have residents that are drinking well water from contaminated wells. And there's multiple sources to pay. There's one group that's already volunteered test kits. But I think the important thing is we have to recognize that the township, because it was a coal mining area, and it was at the coal cleaning plants where they separated the most objectionable material from the coal, and that was sluiced into ponds, and the rest of it was hauled into trucks and dumped into places like Mine 84.
Well, the deep mine took our well water.
That's it, right. And that's a different situation, Joe. The deep mines taking your water is one thing. Coal waste contaminating the surface water and then contaminating the aquifer and contaminating your well is another issue. And we need to make sure that we don't have residents that are drinking water that's contaminated. And the tests are all well established, and there's several independent test labs that can do those. But because we have so much waste in the township, and we already have wells that are adjacent to that waste pile that are contaminated to the point where the coal company has agreed to put the water line in, and for the ones that are contaminated, they're paying their monthly water bill. We need to look at the fact that this groundwater contamination can travel a mile or more underground, and there's no way to determine that until you do tests of individual wells. And that's what we want to begin to be able to do, is identify the ones that are the highest potential and do the testing. Thank you.
Kathy Kennedy?
Kathy Kennedy, 2 Cryling Lane. Hi, guys. I'm here on behalf of the food pantry. I've got some situations going on with the food pantry, which is pretty typical of what's going on in our government today, with budget cuts and issues with pulling back funding. And my fiscal year runs July to July. So come July, which the past 3 Julys, I've struggled to have money because the budget ends on June 30th. my distribution is the second Monday of the month. So come the month of July, I don't have any funding. So I do have some donations that have come in. Of course, EQT is very generous. I have range and I have some personal donations, which are on my account. This kind of gets a little bit complicated. And I also get state grants. So I'm coming to the end of my budget now. In June, I have to use it up. So 9 chances out of 10, I'm probably going to have to cancel July's distribution, because even though the budget is supposed to start in July, my funding won't come through until probably the middle of August and maybe even the last of August. So I won't have any money to purchase any food for July or August. But what they've done to me now is my state fund money, which I purchase my food out of. They've never touched my personal donation money that I can use at my discretion. However, I don't have the ability to say, okay, this month I want to use my personal donations for this or that. Finance picks it out the way that they want to pick it out. So my donation money has been sitting there for 18 months. And it's not been touched. So when I made my order this month, instead of using the state money, they went and used my personal money, which is what I could have used for July and August. Well, at least one of the 2 months. And what they're doing is come June 30th, I'm going to be out of my donation money, and they're going to pull back any funding money from the state grants. They're going to pull that back into their system, which means I'm going to lose about $2,500. So what I'd like to know is there any way, it's kind of a use it or lose it situation. If I don't order and use up all that money, I'm going to lose that money, and I'm going to not be able to have a distribution in July and August. This way I will at least be able to, hopefully, I picked August to be the month that I'll cancel in July, but August the kids go back to school and their supplies and stuff get pretty hefty. So I would rather have the distribution in August than in July. So July would be the month that I possibly would cancel. But what I would like to know from you guys, and I can't tell all of you how thankful that this pantry is for what this township does for us. These other pantries, if you would see some of the situations that these pantries have, they're in basements. They don't even have concrete. I mean, we're in a nice facility. It's warm. It's dry. They're very accommodating to me. But now I'm asking you, is there any way that I can over purchase and store a few pallets of food to hold over? Now I won't do rice or noodles or anything like that will attract mice or anything like that. I'm looking at more like canned goods and possibly laundry soap or things like that critters would not be, wanting. But if I don't use this money, I'm going to lose it. And that's just,
Yeah.
and come my new budget, I don't even know. They won't even give me any idea. Right now I'm functioning on $11.25 per order. That's all I can spend. So it's gotten tighter and tighter on my budget, and it's possibly going to get cut even more, which now they're telling me, they came to me last month and said, you know what, you can't give a dozen of eggs anymore. You have to cut the egg carton in half. How do you cut an egg carton in half and give people 6 eggs? And now this month they sent me and said that I'm probably not going to get my milk. So I really don't know what the future holds for this pantry, but I'm a diehard and I want to hang in there as long as I can. And if I can use this money and store this stairwell, I definitely would like to put it in the stairwell, but it might encompass maybe an extra pallet, that maybe a corner in the garage, move plastic it off. And
I'm thinking it'd be safer and more secure in the other garage,
It'd be easier to get.
and less chance of any kind of like mice or anything like that.
well, I definitely won't purchase anything that's going to attract mice, because I don't want to do that. But I do, I really appreciate what you guys do for this pantry. I really do.
Kathy, suggestion, if you need a monetary donation to the Bentonville Library, other organizations, do feel you need something, please put it on paper, present it to the board.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're feeding, this month I'm up to 181. So, and I just had a new family sign up with 8 kids. So, you know, the need is great, and I do appreciate everything you guys do for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Like a motion, for adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Yes. Time is it?
6:40.